Hello and welcome. My name is Carrie, and I am so pleased that you will be joining me. I am going to lead you through a yin class to get you ready for bedtime so that you can fall asleep quicker. So, yin is all about slowing down, going inside, great opportunity to let go of your day and just connect with your breath and your body. So have a pillow or a bolster nearby, maybe a blanket, and get yourself into something comfortable, even your pajamas. And I've also included a Spotify playlist below if you'd like, and we'll get started. We're not going to get up too high tonight, so we're going to stay low to the ground. So take a moment, take your shoulders up to your ears. And then letting them roll down your back. Letting out a sigh. Maybe closing your eyes. Checking in with how your body is feeling. And giving yourself this gift of yoga before bed. This is a good practice to do just before bedtime. And we'll focus in on our breath, that beautiful life force. Just noticing the cool air flowing in, and maybe warm air flowing back out. Noticing the quality of your breath in this moment. And our normal breath rate is usually between 12 and 15 breaths per minute. And the yogis say that if you can get your breath to be 12 breaths in a minute, you will know the ways of the earth. And if you can get your breath down to 9 breaths in a minute, you will know the language of other creatures on this planet. And if you can get your breath to 6 breaths in a minute, you will know the language of the earth. And if you can get your breath to 3 breaths in a minute, you will know the language of the source of creation. So let's take a moment. I will keep track of a minute, and we'll just count the length of our inhales and see if we can get a number for that. So let's all start counting now. And then stop counting and just take note of that number of inhales that you had. And we're going to work on our upper back and shoulders to start. So bring your fingers down to the floor. We're going to take our right ear over to our right shoulder, letting your left arm get heavy, and maybe adjusting your chin ever so gently so that you can feel a nice stretch along the left side. We'll take a few moments here, letting any stress or tension in your neck be released on this side. And if you want to intensify it, you can always take your left hand behind you and just let it rest onto your right arm, letting that left shoulder get a little heavier. And just directing your breath into any tight spots. Maybe playing around with your chin positioning again. Finding a little area to work on. And then we'll bring our head back to center. Let's take our arms out nice and wide, and we'll bring them around in front, crossing right elbow under left, and just give yourself a nice big hug. Maybe dropping your chin down towards your chest and taking a couple of breaths into that upper back. Imagine maybe your upper back has gills like a fish. And then we'll release the hands, bring them back down to the floor. Let's let the left ear come down towards that left shoulder, keeping the right shoulder heavy. Adjusting your chin, noticing any areas of tension to work on. And maybe on this side, you want to take your right arm behind, letting that right shoulder relax a little bit more. Letting go of any stress or tension that might have built up in your shoulders and your neck. And we'll release that right hand, take your arms back out. Let's take the left elbow under the right. And again, giving yourself a nice, big, glorious hug. Taking a couple breaths into that upper back. And then we'll release the hands back down. Let's take our legs out in front of us. Give them a little wiggle. Maybe taking hold of your pillow or your bolster. We're going to bring the right knee in, letting that knee relax down. You can always prop your knee up with a blanket if you'd like. And then we'll set the pillow or bolster on top of the straight leg. We're just going to fold over here. So forward folds are great for calming that nervous system. So you can stack your fists if you need a little extra height. Letting yourself settle here. Letting your shoulders relax. Letting the muscles in your face soften. And just allowing any muscles to relax that don't need to be working here. So allowing your right hip to relax, hamstrings in your left leg to soften. We'll stay here for a couple of minutes. As you hang out here, softening a little bit more, just noticing yourself sinking a little bit deeper into this pose, into this shape. And then very slowly, let's ease our way back up. And we'll just bring that right knee up with us and stretch that leg out. Let that energy just flow down the right leg. And then we'll bend into that left knee, bringing it up beside the right leg, and we'll switch sides, getting yourself set up with your props. And then when you're ready, you can ease your way back down. Letting yourself settle here. Softening anything that doesn't need to be working. Finding yourself sinking in a little bit deeper. And taking 5 more breaths here. And slowly bringing yourself back up again. You can move your pillow out of the way. We'll stretch the left leg out, get a nice flood of energy down both legs, maybe pointing and flexing your toes. And then we'll swing our legs around, coming onto our backs, getting your spine nice and long, and sending your feet out to the edges of your mat. We'll let the knees rest in on each other. Bringing your hands onto your abdomen, and let's close our eyes here as we allow the back body to soften and relax into the floor. And coming back to that beautiful breath. Bringing that breath all the way down into your hands. Filling your belly up nice and full, and then letting it sink back down. And while you're here, maybe counting the length of your inhale and then the length of your exhale. And just taking note of those two numbers. And we're going to see if we can gradually get the exhale to be twice as long as your inhale. So if you're inhaling to the count of 4 or 5, gradually get your exhale to be 8 or 10. And when our exhale is longer than our inhale, it's a great way to relax the parasympathetic nervous system. Great way to get yourself ready for a restful sleep. A great way to slow down your breath so that you can listen and hear the sound and the language of the creatures and the earth and all of creation. So bringing your hands by your side, actually bring them out into a T or a cactus shape. We will bring our feet back together. We're going to come into a spinal twist. So letting your knees float down towards the right. If you want, you can bring a pillow in between your knees if you want a little extra support. Letting your shoulders rest onto the mat, and then take your head and look over to the left. Keeping that breath flowing all the way down into your abdomen. As you exhale, letting your back relax. Letting your back unlock and let go.
We'll take 5 more breaths here. And then slowly bringing your knees back up, head to center. And we'll take our right foot up towards the ceiling, taking your right hand to the inside of that right foot. We're going to stretch the left leg down, maybe placing your left hand onto your left hip. See if you can bring that right knee down towards the floor, coming into a half happy baby pose here. Getting into those beautiful hips. If you can't quite reach the bottom of your foot, you can always grab hold of your ankle or your calf. And just letting the weight of your hand on your right foot bring that knee down a little closer to the floor. Then we'll bend the left knee. Let's set that right ankle onto your left knee. Let the right knee relax away from your body. And you can stay like this if this is enough stretch for your hip. If you want to take it deeper, you can thread your hands through and just pulling that left knee in towards your chest. Allowing the weight of your hands and gravity to work here. Allowing your face to soften. Imagine directing your breath into that right hip. Allowing any tightness or tension to gradually dissolve and ease away. And then we'll release the hands if they are on that left leg, letting your left foot come down to the floor, right foot come down to the floor, and we'll come into our spinal twist again, arms extending out. This time the knees can come down to the left, head to the right, and maybe even putting a pillow or a blanket in between your knees. Letting your shoulders relax again. Breath flowing all the way down the length of your spine. And as you exhale, relaxing a little bit more. We'll take 5 more breaths here. And we'll come back to center. And let's bring that left knee in, left foot to the ceiling. We'll place your left hand either on your ankle or the bottom of that foot, stretching the right leg out, placing that right hand on your hip, coming into our half baby pose on this side, letting the weight of the left hand bring that knee down towards the floor. And then bending that right knee, let's set the left ankle onto that knee. See how this side is feeling today. If you want to take it deeper, you can bring your hands through and grab hold of that right leg and just bringing it in towards your chest. Closing your eyes and allowing your breath to ease away any tension in the left hip. And we'll take 5 more breaths here. And releasing your hands if they're there. We'll bring both feet back down to the floor and gently roll back up. We're going to take our pillow or our bolster and just put it across your mat so that when you lay back down on it, you can let your head touch the floor. You want your heart to be exposed, arms relaxing out. You can have your knees bent and either bring them in to rest on each other, or you can open them up, bringing the bottoms of your feet together into a butterfly pose. So making sure it feels comfortable for your neck, making sure there's no sharp pains anywhere in your back. We want our chest to be expanded here. So just breathing into that expansive area. And maybe while you're here, you could go through your day and bring to mind all of those moments of gratitude, from the very simple things that happened to anything that was big that you can be grateful for. It can be as simple as just taking the time to do a yin class. And we'll take 4 more breaths here. If your knees are in butterfly, just bringing them back together. And we're going to bring that bolster down a little further on our backs and setting our hips up onto it. So lifting your hips, wiggling that pillow or bolster underneath, making sure your spine is nice and long. And then maybe bringing your feet up towards the ceiling. If you're near a wall, you can always Come with your legs up against the wall for added support. Coming into this waterfall pose. I always like to imagine water flowing from the toes down to my head, washing away any busy thoughts. And then we'll let the knees bend, bringing our arms around our knees, and maybe rocking from side to side. And then we'll set our feet back down onto the floor, maybe lift your hips and pushing your bolster, your pillow, so that it rests underneath your knees. We'll come into our final shape. So if you want to get sweaters or blankets on, you can go right ahead. Wiggling in, if you have an eye pillow, you might want to put that on your eyes. And just getting yourself comfortable, closing your eyes. Coming back to our beautiful breath. And we'll just count our inhales again, see if our breath slowed down at all with all of those yin poses. So I'll keep count of a minute and you can begin counting your breath now. And you can stop, just noticing the difference in your number from when we started. And just allowing relaxation to sweep from your toes, across your legs, to your hips, all the way up your torso to your shoulders. and down each of your arms, feeling all the muscles in your face softening and letting go. And tonight's meditative poem by Zach Beach is called Explore the Depths of Yourself. Explore the depths of yourself. We are proprietors of this land, but few people even know the territory. You contain mountains, multitudes. Your heart is a torrential avalanche from Everest. Your senses are an Amazonian rainforest of rich, lush experience. Each finger a river delta reaching out into this ocean of reality. Do not be afraid, intrepid explorer. Taste the adventure that calls to you. Explore the depths of yourself. Love the unlovable parts. See truth in beauty and beauty in truth. Enter the dense forest of your own inner space to discover the gateway back home. And when you're ready, just begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, bringing a full breath back into your belly. And slowly rolling onto your side, making your way gently back up to a comfortable seated position. Or you're welcome to stay just where you're at. And we'll bring our hands together. Let's take a collective breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathing in and out. May you all have a very peaceful rest this evening. Namaste.